Today I'm going to be telling y'all about the time that my fucking my fucking ex abandoned me, bro. My ex literally left me in the middle of the fucking woods and I ended up homeless in a whole nother state. All right. So, all right, let's get into it. All right. So, quick disclaimer. I already know when y'all hear this story is going to be certain shit where you're like, this bitch is dumb. Like, she's dumb. Around this time, I discovered a nigga called Nature Boy, right? Some of y'all probably know who he is, especially the more like black conscious side. But a lot of y'all that, you feel me, ain't really into all that, y'all might not know who he is. So just to give y'all a brief disclaimer, and I'll even insert some like clips of his like videos or something just so y'all know. He essentially was a cult leader who had the teachings of going back to the tropics, going back to, he first of all, he believed first and foremost that all highly melanated beings, black people, originated in a tropical environment. We're not meant to be in the extreme cold. This is not what our bodies were made or had evolved to fit into, which I agree. Literally our skin, our melanin literally absorbs sunlight. That's the point of it. So why the fuck would we be in a cold ass environment where the sun is obscured 80% of the year? That doesn't make sense. Like, clearly if we have melanin covering our entire body in mass levels, that means that we're meant to be in an area that we constantly need to absorb melanin in. I mean, absorb sunlight in. Anyways, though, so that's one of his beliefs. The other is that essentially black people should not only move back to the tropics, but completely detach from the matrix or, you know, just the system and living life as we know it. That we should go back to a state of depending on the earth, feeding ourselves, clothing ourselves, watering ourselves directly from the earth. And this was something that really sparked my interest because, like I said, I was just coming into really realizing how the government manipulates us and drains us and uses us as pawns in the system. So, you feel me? Like, to me, it's like this is all making sense. This is all clicking. This is making so much sense. However, the thing about Nature Boy is that he abuses a lot of this information to carry out extra agendas that he had. So a lot of people was like, yeah, we fuck with the idea, we fuck with the concept, but we don't want to join this particular fucking group. So a lot of people would make their own like spin-off carbonation tribes. So this is what I wanted to do. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I literally was asking the universe if I should start my own tribe. this is gonna be one of the moments where y'all are like, bitch, you're dumb. So like literally a couple days after I had sat down and asked for this sign, I got a DM from this nigga. We're gonna call him, he need like a super villain name because this nigga's a villain. We gonna call this nigga Thanos. We gonna actually, you know what, that's a good idea because this nigga personality was like Thanos, like, and I'm gonna get into it. So we gonna call this nigga Thanos. So I got a direct message from a nigga named Thanos, right? And mind you, when I say Thanos, like his name at the time was like, his name alone should have been a fucking red flag. Like, because the name that he had, I don't want to say it on here, but the name that he had was like off rip narcissist. Like, anybody that had common sense would look at this shit and be like, this nigga's a narcissist. Like, but again, I'm green as fuck. When it comes to niggas, I'm green as fuck. So I'm pretty sure he DM'd me asking me something about like, am I trying to start my own tribe? Blah, 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 blah. So I told him, yeah, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I cannot remember exactly what we said to each other. Just the gist of, you know, basically recognizing that we on the same page with shit, right? And And so he got straight to the point. Like within the first day of talking to me, he's like, yeah, I'm the chief of my own tribe. What is this? This is like red flag 2. This is like red flag 2 by now. I'm the chief of my own tribe. And I'm looking for a chiefess, right? I'm looking for a queen. Like, I have multiple wives already, but I'm looking for someone to be the chiefess of it. But in my head, I'm thinking, I'm gonna vet this nigga out. Like, I'm gonna say yeah because I feel like I should, because I asked for this sign, but I'm gonna just pay attention and see like if this is for me, right? Clearly I didn't fucking do that, like, because I'm green as fuck. Like, what, how you gonna look for red flags when you don't even know what the fuck red flags are, for real? So anyways, so as soon as I say yeah, he put me in this group chat with like 4 other women, and it's me, him, and all the wives. Like, we're on the phone literally all day. We're falling asleep on the phone at night. We're waking up on the phone together, blah blah blah, all that shit, right? So throughout this time, I keep noticing I hear a female voice in the back, right? And I didn't realize then, but I know now the bitch was being petty. Like, you know, trying to make herself known. You know, when he'd get on the phone with me, all of a sudden she'll start singing loud as fuck in the background or something. Like, why all of a sudden you singing? You was just sitting there quiet this whole time. As soon as you realize he talking to a bitch, you start singing, trying to make yourself known, or, you know, start trying to pick an argument or something with him to like draw his attention away from the phone call, stuff like that. So just obvious signs that this is a female that got some type of dealings with him. But again, I don't understand. I don't know the niggas that lie. I don't know the lies that niggas tell yet. So I asked him like, who is this? And he gonna say the classic nigga line. Oh, that's just a girl that I stay with. We don't go together. Like, you know, niggas always say that shit. Like, oh, they stay with their baby mom, but they not together. Like, you know, we just stay together now. Like, but I didn't know this shit was a classic lie. Like, his whole point is that he needs to get out of Jersey, because this is where he's currently staying at. His whole thing is, the plan is he wants to go to Florida to like live off of the earth, get his followers up, get his little group up, you know, learn how to tent well, all that good stuff. And then when he gets enough women and enough, you know, I guess resources together, we're supposed to go to Mexico. And the other part of it too is he's a felon and he got other shit going on, so he can't just go across. He can't legally go get a passport and go to Mexico. So we're trying to find a way for this nigga to sneak across the border, basically. So until then, we're supposed to be in Florida, until we figure out a way to get to Mexico, right? This is his plan. So the whole time that we're on the phone with him, he's like stressing, like, somebody gotta come get me. Like, you know, I'm on the first thing smoking. I'm on the first thing smoke. Like, he keeps saying shit like that. Like, again, this is another red flag. Like, this is another red flag, because why do you need us to come get you? Why are you so thirsty to get up out of Jersey, like, to where you on some, like, somebody gotta come get me right now? Like, he wanted right now. He didn't want no, like, because me and the women, like, we're all, because like I said, we would have phone calls with just us talking even without him, and we're all like, we need to save for money. Like, we don't even know this nigga all like that. Like, you know, he seems divine. Like, the knowledge that he has, the information that he's talking about, the fact that he's on this wave, because a lot of black men not on this type shit, like, really about that shit. Like, a lot of people will talk about it, but not a lot of black men is really willing tomorrow to leave their whole life and go live off of nature. He's gonna say, that's all you need. I got solar panels right here. I got generators right here. Like, I got the generators, I got the solar panels, the tents, all that. I just need somebody to pick me up. I just need somebody with a vehicle. I convinced my best friend to drive with me to Jersey to go pick this nigga up. Okay. So, let me try to hurry up, because, bro, like, this shit ain't even a fucking half of it. Like, all right, so, mind you, okay, so we almost fell out, real quick. We almost fell out right before I went to go pick him up, because all of a sudden, when I said I would pick him up, all of a sudden, the bitch he was staying with talking about she going. Or he talking about she want to go all of a sudden. So I'm skeptical because I'm like, didn't you say that she not really with the carbonation shit? And I forgot to tell you, I had started talking to her a little bit. Like, he actually introduced us and I had started talking to her in the background and stuff. And she was specifically stating that she ain't really with that living off the earth shit. Like, she more so into like the Bruja, Hispanic voodoo, like, like she's black and Spanish mixed together, and she's like into like hoodoo stuff like that, more so than like the living off grid nature side of shit. So I'm thinking, like, didn't you just say, like, why is you? So he's like, well, she's not, but if we bring her, that can influence her, basically. Like, and I'm sitting here thinking, like, to me that don't make sense. Like, why bring somebody with us that we already know not fucking with it? And so now on top of us trying to figure shit out, we trying to convince her to fuck with it. Then but it was like, whatever, I was willing to work with it. But then she start, like, I'm listening to her in the background and she calling like all these people, and she like, yeah, bitch, we finna go to Florida, like, we finna go to Florida, we finna do this, like, yes, it's gonna be lit as fuck, blah blah blah. Like, the way she's explaining this shit is like we going to fucking party in Florida on spring break or something. And I'm like, to me, I'm dead serious about this shit. Like, this is a spiritual journey. Like, this, I'm not playing. Like, and so I'm sitting here listening and I'm like, I'm looking at him like, why the fuck is you letting her turn this into this? Like, she bringing niggas that's like literally regular ass hood niggas. Like, they not into it, nothing. And so he got the mentality of, oh, like, we can change them. We can change all of them. Like, they come in just to have fun. They come in just to turn up. But we can be the ones that change them. And I'm looking at it like, I hear you, but no, like, this is the foundation. Like, we don't even know what the fuck we're doing. We're going down here to even learn how to fucking live out of tents and learn how to live off of nature. And I don't feel like now is the time to be bringing a big ass group of people and half the people aren't taking it seriously. Half the people gonna be down there trying to party and get drunk and like not even pay attention. Like, you feel me? Like, I feel like it's just gonna fuck up the foundation. And then the last final straw is, long story short, the Bruja is still in love with Thanos. But Thanos won't make her a wife because she's not fully on board with the mission. Like, she don't even want to do polygamy. That's the other part of it too. Not only do she not really want to live off nature, but she not fucking with polygamy. So he won't make her a wife. So in the meantime, Bruja then went and got another nigga. And she wants to bring the nigga. But they're playing, like, how do I explain this shit? Thanos and Bruja are planning to get together when she can accept polygamy. So then my question is, if you feel like you just not ready to accept polygamy right now, but one day soon you're gonna be able to, like, you just need some time, okay, that's understandable. But why would you bring a whole nother man down here with you, knowing that you finna leave him for Thanos? So now it's gonna be a whole nigga that's in a whole nother state, basically sitting there looking stupid because he came down here for you, and whole time you was planning on leaving him for Thanos. How is that shit finna go? Y'all finna be fighting. Like, you think this about, that's how I'm looking at shit. Like, y'all think this about to be smooth? We about to be in the middle of fucking woods, and you gonna leave this nigga for Thanos, and now he gonna be mad as, that's messy. Like, I'm looking at this whole shit like, this is messy. This is messy. These niggas don't want to even be here. These niggas not even on the wave. She don't even fuck with polygamy. Me and her done got into arguments, all kinds of shit. Her and the other girls done got into arguments because she not fucking with polygamy. Like, then on top of it, she bringing a nigga, but she really want to be with you, but you don't really want to be with her yet because she, that's messy. So I just straight told him, look, I'm good. Take the other wives, take her, take the brother, husband, the boyfriend number 2, all the hood rats, whatever, and y'all go. Because I'm not no judgmental person, But at the same time, I'm not, this is serious to me. Like, I'm seriously trying to go on a spiritual journey and really learn how to live off of the elements and stuff. Like, hold on a second. Long story short, I'm just like, bro, this is too much. I'm not trying to be in the middle. To me, this sounds like a recipe for some ratchet ass, like, it sounds like you trying to do fucking Bad Girls Club in the woods. It sounds like you trying to do Love and Hip Hop in the woods, bro. So I went to go pick him up. Y'all, we get there. Why the fuck? Like, mind you, I had to drive 6 hours. I brought my best friend with me. We drove 6 hours to go pick this nigga up. Why the fuck we get there and this nigga comes out with one trash bag full of his clothes? I'm sitting here waiting like, you ain't got no more stuff? Because you remember he said that he already had, like, when I tell you, he didn't just say this shit in the air. Like, he literally was telling me like, oh yeah, I got 2 generators, I got 2 tents, I got 2 6-people tents. Like, he was listing off the exact stuff that he had. So I'm like, okay. I'm sitting there waiting. All this nigga came out with was a trash bag full of his clothes. So I'm like, where's the stuff at? Like, where's the other materials at? He's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you said you had generators, solar panel, like you said you had all this stuff. Where's it at? Like, because the whole reason why I agreed to come pick him up without me having the fucking resources is because he said he had it. The fuck? And so he's like, nah, I would have had it, but you ain't want her to come. You ain't want them to come. So, blah, 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 blah. Long story short, I guess what he was saying was, she was finna pay for all the shit. But that's not what he told me. He told me that he already had all this shit. Not that she was gonna pay for this shit. Because if you remember, she wasn't even gonna go in the first fucking place, right? Remember I told you it was a wife in Michigan. So Thanos specifically said, you gonna come pick me up, and then we're gonna make our way to Michigan. Because you can, coming from Jersey, you drive through Ohio to get to Michigan anyways. So I had left my bunny rabbit Loki and some of my like bigger stuff at the house because there wasn't no reason for me to bring it all the way to Jersey just to pick him up. So I was just gonna stop by the house, we take a little rest, stop by my grandmother's house, we take a little rest, you know, take a shower, change our clothes, whatever, pick up my stuff and my rabbit, and then we was gonna go to Michigan with the other wife. And that's where we was just going there to pick her up, and then either we was gonna pick up the other wife in North Carolina, or she was gonna meet us there, and then we was gonna go to Florida together. I think I told him a little game plan, like, yeah, so this is my grandma's house, like, I'm gonna introduce you to her, all that good stuff. I just need to run in here and, like, you know, change my clothes, you know, we could take a nap or something, because we've been in a car for like hours, bro. Like, but yeah, we ain't gonna be here too long, I'm gonna just grab my stuff, whatever. And he was like, no, we need to stay here for like, we gotta stay here till Monday. I'm like, what you mean? Like, mind you, it's like Friday, something like that, Thursday or Friday. So I'm like, what you mean we gotta stay here till Monday? He like, we gotta stay here till Monday because oh girl, she ain't gonna be in the story long enough for me to give her a name. This is pretty much the end of her story. But oh girl got her peoples at her house and they not leaving until Monday, so we gotta wait. Okay, you didn't tell me that, but whatever. So we stay at my grandma's house. I asked my grandma, is it okay if he stays here until Monday and we'll be on our way? She said, yeah. Monday come. Oh, we gotta wait another week. She talking about they got delayed, they can't leave for another week. Okay, a week go by. Yeah, she ain't with it no more. Like, I forgot exactly what he said, but he was like, she ain't with it no more. Like, basically, she not a wife no more. She done. I'm like, what? So, what are we doing now? Because we was supposed to be going. I'm looking like, what the fuck are we doing? Because I thought he had money and resources. I thought he had the tents, all the shit that we needed. And then we was going to pick up our other wife, and then we was going to Florida. Like, but now I didn't realize that you don't have no fucking money. You don't have no resources. And this is how I know he don't got no money. I forgot to tell y'all this, right? Why the fuck, when we first got here, this is how I knew I was done for. This is the red flag of all red flags. This is how I knew I had fucked up. The first day this nigga touched down in my city, bro, he like, do y'all got a place where y'all can pawn like gold or silver? I was like, yeah. Like, yeah. Why? He was like, don't worry about it. Just where's it at? Like, where's it at? So I drove him after I took a shower, changed my clothes and stuff. I drove him to the place where I drove him to the pawn shop. Why the fuck this nigga pull out this dirty, raggedy ass fucking piece of shit Pandora bracelet? It looked like he stole this shit from somebody's daughter, like somebody's little ass kid that don't know how to take care of their jewelry yet. Like, and I'm like, what the fuck? And he tried to get me to go pawn that shit. I'm like, you go in there. Like, I'm not about to embarrass myself. You go in there. Like, I ended up going in there with him just because, like, I don't even know. Like, I just ended up going in there with him. But I still made him hand them people that shit because I wasn't handing them that. Long story short, them people was looking at that bracelet like, like I literally heard the girl say like, I'm gonna get fired. Like she made a little comment like, I'm gonna get fired, but I give y'all $20 for it. Like, so like literally that's how shitty this fucking bracelet was. Like, they gave us $20 for it. And the nigga, as soon as we got in the car to $20, he like called somebody to pull up with a bag. A bag with $20? Like, so this nigga pawned a raggedy ass, somebody's 6-year-old daughter, raggedy ass Pandora bracelet just so he can get $20 for some fucking weed. This is how I knew. This is how I knew I fucked up. But he ended up meeting some other girl in Dayton, Ohio. I'm from Akron. He met another girl in Dayton, Ohio, which is like 2 hours away, something like that. So he was like, we just gonna get the gas money. Because at this point, I didn't spent all of my money. Like, the little money that I had, I spent that shit fucking driving all the way to Jersey and back, paying for tolls and shit. And then I'm buying him weed and shit. Like, as these couple weeks have gone by, I've been paying for his weed, all kinds of shit, because he paying for his food. I don't have food stamps at this point because I don't have a kid, because he don't have shit. So with that being said, it's like we got to get the gas money to get down to Dayton, right? Mind you, so this is the next red flag. The woman that's in Dayton is a crackhead, bro. I'ma just sum it up. She's a crackhead. When I meet the girl, you know how just tweaks just got a certain look and energy about them to where you like, that's a crackhead. Like, if that's not a current crackhead, she at some point in her time was a crackhead. Like, and she in recovery. As soon as I seen her, I knew it. And it's actually a video of this girl. Like, it's actually a video of this girl at a fucking store acting like a crackhead. Like, and if I could find that shit, I promise you I'll put this shit in the video. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it though. But just so y'all can see what the fuck I'm seeing, right? She's old as fuck. She's like 40 something years old, but she look even older than what she is because she's a crackhead. So I'm looking at him like, I know you not attracted to her. Like, I know you don't want her to be a wife. Like, I know you don't. He's like, it's not about that. Long story short, I'm gonna save us both some time. He ended up telling me that the reason why he fucking with her is because she gonna sell pussy to make him money. Like, she willing to do whatever. Like, he drug it out. It took me days to get this response out of him, but I'm not finna sit here and scratch out this video any longer than it needs to be. To sum it up, she was willing to suck dick in order for him to get money and shit that he needed. Now, this is the red flag of all red flags. This is the point where anybody else will be like, this relationship is over. However, at the time, I felt trapped. I felt like I had no choice other than to continue with this shit. Like the way that he was talking, the energy that he was giving me, the way that he carried himself in a relationship was very much like, I don't give a fuck. Bitch, I don't give a fuck. Like, you don't run shit, I run shit. Shut the fuck up. Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, his whole energy was given that. So I felt like this is the type of nigga that if I tell him to get out right now, he's not gonna get out. And I'm right. I was actually right to think that. And y'all gonna see why I say that in the next story time. But anyways, so he's giving, I'm not getting out. Like, if I was to tell him to get out of my grandma's house right now, he wouldn't leave. I would have to call the cops, and they would have to tell him to leave. But the problem is, I don't know about y'all states, but definitely in Ohio, there are squatters' rights. So if it's usually 30 days, but it don't even got to be 30 days. If somebody can show that they have like clothes there, like they can basically prove that this is where they're laying their head at, like you can't just kick them out. You have to go to court and get them thrown out. So my grandma would have to go get him evicted type shit. Because he had been there, at this point, we've been there damn near a month. We've been there damn near a month. By the time he started, seriously talking about being with the girl from Dayton and sucking dick and all this extra shit, we had been there for damn near a month. Like, he's staying here at this point. So I would have to put my grandma through having to go to court to get this nigga evicted out her house, blah, blah, blah. Like, you feel me? Like, I just felt like this is my fault. Like, I brought him here. I'm the reason why he's here. I got to get this nigga up out of here. And I don't think that he literally said at one point, like, when he leave, it's going to be to go on his mission and do what he got to do. Like, so I felt like I had to see the mission through. That's what I'm getting at. I felt like I had to see the mission through. So it's so much to this shit, y'all. Long story short, he ended up changing his mind about stopping and dating to get the girl. At this point, the other wives had fallen off too. He basically make up the decision that we just going straight to Florida. Like, we just going straight to Florida. So at this point, it's like, well, damn, we need more than gas money to get to Florida and live off of shit in Florida. Mind you, I had been Ubering and saving up money for us to utilize, but every time I would make money, the nigga would spend the shit on weed. Every single fucking time. Literally, this nigga was a fucking weed addict. He couldn't go a day. He could barely go an hour. Like, I'm getting Ubers maybe 3-4 times a day, something like that. And damn near every single time the money touched my hand from doing the Uber, he want to take half of it or sometimes all of it to go fucking buy weed. So it's like, we're not making no money. Like, we just spinning our wheels, because every time I touch a piece of money, like, the nigga thirsty to go smoke it up. So it's not going nowhere. So finally he come up with the idea of me selling my car to get the fucking money to buy the tickets and the tent and shit that we need for Florida. So that's what I did, y'all. I ain't gonna even drag it all out and explain to you, because of course at first I wasn't fucking with it. Eventually I ended up fucking with it. Long story short, I ended up selling my fucking car. I sold my car. I think I got $2,000. So that's what I did to my car. And I used, out of the $2,000, I bought us tickets to Florida. I bought us a tent. And I bought us bikes. So that we can, like, get around and stuff. And then the rest I just pocketed. Like, I bought some food and stuff like that. And the rest I just put up. He had to buy weed, of course. So we on our way to Florida. Mind you, it was fucking dumb. I should have bought the bikes in Florida, because halfway there, specifically in Atlanta, we had to leave our fucking bikes. They were brand new mountain bikes, and we had to leave them shits in Atlanta, because all the way up until that point, they was letting us put the bikes under the bus. But when we got to Atlanta, they was like, oh, they have to be in a box. How the fuck do you put a bike in a box? Like, I guess you're supposed to take your bike apart and put it in a box. But we had got on like 3 buses and they was letting us put the bike under the fucking bus. But we got to Atlanta and they was like, oh, y'all can't go any further unless y'all put them in the box. So we had to leave our fucking bikes in Atlanta. Then we get to Florida. So this shit a red flag. This is another red flag. We had to pass through Orlando in order to get to Tampa. The reason why we chose Tampa is because we had done research on like the wild edibles and stuff in that fucking area. Just because we're trying to live off the land. So we're looking up all the different vegetation and stuff that we can eat. And it was a lot of shit in Tampa. And also right outside of Tampa, there was camping grounds that, you know, would be suitable for somebody that's trying to stay long term, stuff like that. So we had picked Tampa as the best location, but we had to pass through Orlando. So on the way through Orlando, all of a sudden he wanted to get off the bus and stay in Orlando instead of going to Tampa. And I'm like, why? Like, and he like, oh, because my people stay down here. My people stay down here. We gonna stay in their backyard. I'm like, what? What the fuck are you talking about? The whole point of all of this shit, the whole point of me picking you up, the whole point of me selling my fucking car, buying tents and shit, was for us to go to Florida and learn how to live off of the fucking earth. That was the whole point of this shit. Now all of a sudden we get all the way down here to Orlando and you talking about you finna go stay at your people's house. Was this nigga trying to sex traffic me, y'all? Like, I feel like, why the fuck did... It's like he switched up the whole plan. The whole plan was to go to Florida to live off, to go find rural woods, to go find real fucking, not a jungle, but you know, Florida is a more subtropic environment, so it's more of a jungle than a forest. Like, I'll put some pictures and stuff in here if I can. So the whole point of us was to really go immerse ourselves in the land, in the nature. That was the whole fucking point. That's what you was pressing everybody for. This is why you was rushing motherfuckers to go to Florida. Now all of a sudden you trying to go stay at your friend's house. What friend? You never mentioned nothing like this the whole fucking time. So I'm like, no, bro, no. I did not sit here and spend my money. I did not sit here and come get you. I did not sit here and sell my car, buying fucking tents and shit. I bought pocket knives. I bought like survival shit. I bought water purifier filters and shit. I did not sit here and buy this stuff just to go stay at somebody's house. Like, now I feel like you've been lying to me this whole time. Like, this whole thing was just a plot for you to get to your people's house in Florida or something. Like, you know, at this point, I'm just suspicious. I'm suspicious. Who are these people? Like, why all of a sudden are you trying to bring me to some random people house that you never mentioned? I've been talking to you for months at this point. I've lived with you in person for over a month. We done had all kinds of wives, all kinds of, like, you've never once mentioned no people in Orlando. Now all of a sudden, I'm supposed to, on the drop of a dime, go stay in a fucking house. What is going on? No. I'm going to Tampa. You can stay here in Orlando. I'm going to Tampa and staying in my fucking tent. Because that's what the fuck I came down here for. We had to catch an Uber out of Tampa on my dime all the way out to the camping reserve was like an hour away by car. Like, so you can imagine that Uber bill. Like, the camping reserve was deep. And the way it was like it was a big ass like forest reserve, but it's in Florida, so it's more of like a subtropic forest. Like it's like it looked like a jungle to me, but I don't know if you would call it a jungle or not. I don't know. It looked like a jungle. Part of it is reserved for camping, and then the other part of it you're not supposed to go to. It's supposed to be uncharted. So we did set our tent up kind of like on the border. We set our tent up where you allowed the camp at, but we wasn't paying for the camping fee, like, because you're supposed to go to the website and pay a certain amount. Either it's like each night or for like a week or something like that. They have payment arrangements. We didn't do none of that shit, so we're kind of skeptical. So during the day, like, we're spending most of our time in the uncharted part where nobody really at, because we don't really know, like, basically we don't want to get caught there and then they kick us off or something because we don't know where we're gonna go. But after being there for a little bit, like about a week or so, something like that, we started running into other people that was camping there, and they was telling us like, yeah, like we've been here for months, like we've been here, they don't check, like we haven't paid, we've been coming here for years and we never pay, like they don't check to see who paid or who didn't pay. So we like, oh shit, okay, fuck it. So we just staying there. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, like it was a vibe. I fucked with it. It was really a vibe. Like it was a Publix within walking distance. This was the only thing that was out here in the camping area was the Publix, and it was specifically there for the camping grounds. So that was cool. When with the money that we have left over, we was able to go buy like extra food items, stuff like that. But at the same time, we were still learning how to live off the land. So I was making juices and stuff out of the berries. You know, I was calling myself, trying to be on my little survival shit, trying to pay attention to the birds and stuff. Like, I had noticed that it was like different berries and bushes and stuff, but I know it's apps, but the whole point was I was trying to learn how to survive without technology, without the shit we're reliant on. So I noticed it was a particular bush that I was seeing like birds and animals and stuff eating off of. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna try that shit. Like, if I die, oh well. But I'm gonna try this bush because I see other living creatures eating the fucking berries. So evidently, you feel me? Evidently, it's edible if these niggas is eating it, right? So that's what I did. And so I made us some juice and stuff. You know, we were learning how to cook over we was learning how to make our own fires and shit, how to cook over it. He was doing most of the like fire starting, cooking type shit. Yeah, we was exploring like the area. Again, like I said, I'll put some pictures if I can find some. We was exploring the area, all that good stuff. For the most part, it was Gucci. Our relationship was on the rocks because it was always on the rocks. Like it just was. He asked his sister for money one fucking time to buy water. Mind you, up until this point, I have been paying for all the fucking water, all the food, everything other than the food that they gave us. And he ain't pay for shit. So why is that important? Because why the fuck this nigga started trying to act funky with the water? Like, mind you, we're in the fucking woods. So when you use the bathroom, like when you pee or poop or anything like that, you have to use the water to like clean yourself, because you have to use a leaf and like, you know, you're gonna wash the leaf off. You're not about to just use a dirty ass leaf with dirt on it and wipe your butt. Like, and you know, you gotta clean yourself. Cause that's the other thing too, that one of Nature Boy's teachings, because Thanos follow all of Nature Boy's teachings, right? So with that being said, one of the teachings that Nature Boy has is that you're not supposed to actually pee and poop in a toilet. You're supposed to give your pot back to the earth. That's what they call it, giving your pot back to the earth. So you're supposed to literally poop and pee, like dig a hole, poop and pee in it, and then cover it up. Like, that's how you're supposed to use the bathroom, to give back to nature, to give fertilizer back to the soil, whatever the case may be. So that's what we're doing. So it's not like we're going to the bathroom on the camping site and using the toilet and wiping our butt. Like, you feel me? So you need water to wash behind yourself. So I had this one particular night, evening, I had to pee. And so I took the water bottle and I poured some water in it, and I went to go use the bathroom. He didn't say nothing to me on the way out, mind you, or did he? I think he did say something. Like, when I was pouring it, he said something about it being too much water, but I was in a tight, like, I really had to use the bathroom. So I kind of just never minded it, and I rushed out anyways. And I went to go behind the tent. But like, I could hear him talking shit because I'm right behind the tent. So I can hear him talking shit the whole time that I'm using the bathroom. So I finish up and I come back in there and I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, it's just some water. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah, but we gotta drink with that water, and you wasting all the drinking water, blah, 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 da, 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 da. You could have went and got water from, it's like a well thing over there. Anyways, And I'm like, bro, you be using our drinking water to wash your hands. You be using it to splash it on your face just because you're hot. All kinds of stuff. Like, he literally will go through a gallon a day himself. Especially when I was paying for it. He would go through a gallon just fucking pouring it on his head because it's hot outside. But you gonna sit here and make a big scene because I use something to clean myself? Be for real. Like, so we're arguing back and forth. And he gonna say some, shut up talking to me, or shut up talking to me. I'm like, nigga, you're talking to me. Like, I was not talking to you this whole time. You started bitching because I went to go use the bathroom. Like, leave me alone. Like, blah, blah, blah. Like, he's like, shut up. You shut up. Like, literally, this is what we doing, right? So the last time he was like, shut up, and I was like, you shut up, he jumped up and he just started punching like everything he could reach on my body. Like, literally, the way he was sitting on like a crate in a tent, and I was walking back into the tent. So I was standing up and he was sitting on the crate, and we're arguing back and forth. So he literally jumped up from the crate and started, like, he punched my legs and thighs, because that was the first thing, and then just started punching my stomach all the way up until he was like standing over me. And I fell back. Like, he was hitting me so hard that I fell back into like the tent of the wall, to the point where it was a big ass rip in the side of the first layer of the tent from where he had fucking pushed me into the tent wall. So he punched me a few more times while I was on the ground, and then he went back and sat down. He sat down on the crate like nothing happened, and he went back to go start back recording or whatever he was doing. So I'm laying there looking like, I know this nigga didn't just put his hands on me. This is the first time a nigga ever put his hands on me. This nigga just gonna put his hands on me and then think he finna just go back to and think he finna just go back to you feel me, to doing whatever he doing like nothing happened. Fuck no. So I picked up a gallon of water, one of the gallons of water, because we had him lining up against the wall. I picked that shit up and I threw that shit at his fucking head and smacked him inside of the head with the gallon of water. As soon as I did that, he jumped up and he charged at me again and started punching the fuck out of me again. So this time I pull out my phone, and I think I was trying to call the cops. Like, I either was trying to call the cops, go live, call somebody, something. Like, I was trying to alert that I was getting my ass beat. And he took my phone. So when he took my phone, I need to speed this shit up because it's 9:15. I go to work at 10. So when he took my phone, he wouldn't give it back. Every time I tried to reach to grab it back, he would punch me in my face. Like, literally, every time I would reach, he would punch me. I would reach, he would punch me. So finally, the last time I went to reach, I don't give a fuck, because give me my phone. Like, the last time I went to reach, he pulled his knife. Remember I said I had bought like tech knives, like pocket knives and shit, because we was gonna be out in nature. Like, I don't know what was gonna happen. We might have to skin a damn rabbit or something. I don't know. So he pulled his knife out and was like, the next time you reach over here, I'm gonna gut you like a fish. So he's sitting here holding a knife in my phone, and I'm just sitting here. We just sitting. Like, I'm sitting here because he got, like, he didn't just put the knife up. He sat there and held it, pointed like this. Like, waiting for me to make a move. And I'm not moving nowhere till he put this fucking knife down. So I'm just sitting here looking at him, and he looking at me. So finally, he start like ranting. He start going on he's getting everything off his chest while he's still holding the knife. So I'm just sitting there listening. And in his rant, he's saying all kinds of shit. I'm all kinds of stupid ass bitches, and he done with me, and blah blah blah. But he gonna say, that's my people's on the way anyways. Like, I was gonna leave your dumb ass anyways. My people's from Orlando coming to get me anyways. This Ben was gonna happen. Like, he just kept saying that, kept throwing up, like Ben was gonna leave me anyways. That was always the plan. Like, his people from Orlando already on the way here to come get him. So again, why? So again, that lets you know, like, what the fuck was this nigga's real intentions? Like, if this Ben was his plan, he could have just been saying this to piss me off. Who knows? But why did, as soon as we got to Florida, he wanted to stay in Orlando? So this let you know, like, this Ben was his plan. Like, he already had some type of ulterior motive to come into Florida, bro. Like, he already had niggas on his way to come get him. So long story short, I gotta hurry the fuck up. So long story short, he ended up putting the knife up. He ended up, when he seen like, okay, she ain't stupid, he put the knife down. And he kept my phone. He put my phone in his pocket and he went back to doing what he was doing. I jump up. Soon as he put that knife down, I leave the tent. Cause I ain't never been in no situation like this. I've never had a nigga put their hands on me, and I sure as hell have never had anyone pull no fucking knife on me. So I don't want no smoke with that. I jumped the fuck up and run out the tent. And then it was this other couple that they had like a little RV type thing. And then outside of they camper, they had a picnic table with the umbrella over it. It's raining. So I go sit down under their umbrella. And I'm just sitting there crying or whatever. I guess they crying, so I guess they heard me crying, so they came out there. Like, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. And I kind of just told them, like, yeah, me and my boyfriend got into a fight, blah, blah, blah. Like, I didn't go into no details. I just said we got into a fight, and, I'm just trying to get some space and whatever. Like, it's nothing. I'm sorry. Like, I didn't want to get rained on. There's nowhere else I can go for cover. Like, they're like, oh, no, you can sit here. It's fine. Are you hungry? Blah, blah, anything like that. Nice white people. Nice white folk. I'm like, no, I'm okay. No, get out my face. Like, I'm just like, no, I'm cool. Like, I'm not really trying to tell them. But, the wife kept talking to me and stuff. Like, so after a little bit, I'm just telling them, like, yeah, like, we just got into a big argument and I don't know and blah, blah, blah. Like, just venting a little bit, but I'm still not really going into detail. So I forgot what I said, but I was like, I think I finally was like, okay, I think I should head back because they had started getting dark. Mind you, it's getting dark. It's the summertime and it's in Florida. So it don't get dark until like 8 o'clock at night. Mind you, Publix closes at 8 o'clock. So if they're not already closed, they locking the doors as we speak. Like, they about to close. Keep that in mind. So I tell the dude, like, yeah, it's starting to get dark. Like, I'm just gonna go back to our tent. Like, I hope he's not still upset or whatever. Like, I'm just gonna go try to talk it out with him or something. And he was like, wait, like, you gonna go try to talk it out with him? I'm like, yeah. He was like, I don't think he's there. I'm like, what do you mean? He was like, what does he look like? He's a black guy, right? I'm like, yeah, he has dreads, like he has short dreads. I was describing him. He was like, oh, because he just walked out. Like, he just left the camping grounds like 15 minutes ago. I didn't think you cared because, I had left. So I'm sitting over here crying and stuff. Like, I guess he thought I didn't care if he walked off. But when I said I was going back to talk to him or try to talk it out with him, he's like, yeah, he walked that way and never came back. So I'm like, really? Like, because the way I'm sitting, I'm facing like away from the trail, but they're standing up talking to me and he's facing towards the trail. So he's seen him walk out, but I didn't. So I'm like, are you sure? Like, are you sure? And so I jumped up and I went to go check the tent and he wasn't there. Like, he was completely gone. It's dark now. It's completely dark. Publix is closed. Like, I checked, but I don't even know what the fuck. Oh, I had a little, I had a shitty ass little tablet. Like a little tablet Chromebook thing. It was like one of them flip Chromebooks. Shitty as fuck. Like $100 something, barely connect to the Wi-Fi. And I had to check that shit to see what time it was. Why? Because when I got in the tent, he was gone. My phone was gone. His phone was gone. My expensive laptop, the good one that was like $500-$600, that shit was gone. My credit card was gone. Everything valuable was gone out the tent, except for the little shitty ass $100 mini laptop that flipped into a tablet thing. So I checked the time, is after 8 o'clock. So Publix is closed. The reason why this is important is because to this day, well, since the last time I talked to him, I ain't talked to this nigga in like a year. To this day, he swear that he didn't leave me. He just went to go charge the phones at Publix. But Publix closed at 8. So you couldn't have been at Publix. Like, so anyways, like I said, everything valuable is gone. even like our knives, like our survival stuff, the water filters, the water purifier filters, the phones, the credit card, everything of value is going out the tent. Why the fuck would you take all of that just to go charge the phones? Like my knife and yours. Like why would you take all of that just to go charge the tents? I mean charge the phones. Be for real. So I went back to them and I told them like, can y'all call the cops for me? So at this point, I'm not even calling the cops to get him in trouble or nothing like that. I'm calling the cops because I don't know what else to do. It's dark as fuck out here. And then, like I said, when he was holding a knife and he was going on that rant, he said that his people from Orlando came to pick him up. Was on their way as we spoke to come pick him up. So I'm looking at it like he was telling the truth. Oh, that's the other thing too. His book bag with all his stuff, his clothes, his papers, like his book bag with his stuff in it was gone too. He left some of his stuff, like some of his like notebooks and stuff like that. He left that here, but his main book bag that had like his main clothes and shit in it was gone too. Why would you take that just to charge the phone? Like, and then you just said that your people from Orlando was on their way to come pick you up. You're lying. You're fucking lying. Like, this is what you plan to do. So that's how I'm looking at it. Like, this nigga really left. This nigga really had his peoples come pick him up. So, and that's further verified by, like I said, I had them call the cops because at this point I'm in the middle of the woods. I have no money. My card is taken, so I can't even have nobody cash at me or nothing. I don't have my phone. Like, I can't call nobody. I don't even have my knife no more. I think I had mace. The mace is gone. Like, I don't have nothing to protect myself out here. Like, I need to get out of here. Like, flat out. We an hour away from the city. And I don't even have no way. I can't even call an Uber if I wanted to. Like, so I called the cops to have them take me to a shelter. Like, or at least just, can y'all just take me into the city? At least that way I'll be in the city and I can go to a shelter myself, or, you know, I can find a way to, you know, maneuver. But of course they're cops, so they start pressing, like, why are you out here by yourself? What happened? Blah, blah, blah. And I ended up just telling them, like, yeah, he left, he has all my stuff. So apparently they don't fucking play. Because once I explained that to them, they had, like, 5 more fucking squads pull up. And they was all looking for this nigga in the woods. They checked the public. They checked everywhere. Because they asked me, was there anywhere else that he could have gone? Bro, the only other thing out here is the Publix. And that's the only other place we ever gone to out here to charge our phones and stuff. They checked the Publix, everything. They even had a fucking helicopter with a searchlight searching the woods in the surrounding area for this nigga, and he was nowhere to be found. So if his story is true, that he just walked to Publix to charge the phones, how the fuck a fucking 6-7 cop cars plus a search helicopter couldn't see you at the Publix right across the street? Be fucking real. You're lying. You're lying. You got in a car with somebody and you left. You was long gone. Stop fucking lying. Like, so they took me to a shelter. Long story short, they took me to a shelter. It was a haven of rest, right? Was it haven of rest, or was it that other shit? Was it a Red Cross? It was like a battered women's shelter version of, like, you know how they got the regular Red Cross, or they got the regular haven of rest? Was it Red Cross? Salvation Army. It was a Salvation Army shelter. Like, they have the regular Salvation Army, and then it was like a battered women's Salvation Army shelter. So that's where they took me to. And so long story short, from there I found out that, and it was weird shit that happened there I could tell y'all about, but that's besides the point. So from staying there, I found out that if you stay here you have to stay here for 2 weeks to be eligible, but they can help you get a bus ticket home. And so that's what I did. I had to stay there for 2 weeks, and the people that ran the shelter was able to take me to another program and, like, co-sign, basically vouch, like, yeah, this girl is homeless, she's been staying here at our shelter, she needs a way home. And the program got me a bus ticket back home to Ohio. When I got home, I ended up taking a pregnancy test because my fucking period never came back. And that was when I found out that I was pregnant with my daughter. So yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and end the story right there, because there's a whole other fucking, I don't know, I guess you could say it's part 2 to this story, but it's kind of like its own separate whole story in the same time. So I guess it's to be continued. So got home back to Ohio, found out I was fucking pregnant. To be continued.